There is an ancient spiritual law that many people have forgotten. Everything in creation responds to the name it is called by. Animals, people, and even wealth itself. When you call a dog, it runs toward your voice. When you call money with understanding and right intention, it also responds. But many people never speak its true name. They speak out of fear. They speak from lack. They speak from worry. And then they wonder why abundance never reaches them. Tonight, I remind you of this forgotten truth, the holy power of naming. In this message, I will show you how to speak to money by divine law, so you call it correctly and it cannot slip away from you. You will see why careless words chase abundance away, why the tongue can multiply your good or make it vanish, and how changing your language even slightly can open the door to overflow. Before this message ends, you will learn the exact word that awakens supply and the law that makes it serve you without resistance. Maybe you have tried budgeting, saving, or even crying out to heaven for financial help, yet the struggle stayed. Maybe you have repeated affirmations, but they did not work because you were still calling money by the wrong title. Tonight, you will learn that idle speech is just as powerful as a positive declaration. Every casual word is a seed, and I will show you how to pull out the false seeds and plant new ones. Real freedom begins when you realize money is not your master but your servant, and it responds to the sound of your voice. I will explain how words attach vibration to physical things, how the subconscious repeats everything you name, how right speech commands supply to appear in physical form. I will give you the affirmations that brought increase to my students in days, and the exact phrases you must speak and guard. We will expose the false names, difficulty, cost, insufficiency, and replace them with truth. Stay with me until the end, because I will reveal one phrase that dissolves debt like mist, a phrase so strong that many fear to speak it, yet when spoken, everything shifts. People miss a very simple, eternal truth. Everything in this world answers when called by name. Call a child and he turns. Call to a friend across a crowd and she responds. Why should money be different? It is not dead paper or metal. It is energy taking form, a moving current that carries vibration and recognizes the voice that names it. When you call it correctly, it is required to answer. The tragedy is that most people never do. They call it by false names, burden, stress, expense, and then they wonder why it disappears. The universal law is steady. By your words you rise, and by your words you fall. Speak against money and it leaves. Speak well of it and it comes back. Why? Because the subconscious mind records every word like a camera capturing an image. It does not argue, question, or laugh at jokes. It simply accepts and recreates whatever it hears. I once met a woman who joked that she might as well live out of a suitcase. She laughed, her friends laughed, but her subconscious wrote it down as truth. And soon her home was gone, leaving her with only a trunk. What you name, you claim. Every name is a seed, and every seed brings a harvest. Think of the phrases people say every day. It's hard to earn. Money disappears. I can't afford that. Each one is a decree shaping their reality. Speak lack, and you harvest lack. The tongue is the steering wheel of life. Point it toward scarcity, and you sail straight into need. Point it toward abundance, and prosperity becomes your destination. If you say, money is divine, money listens, money serves me through grace, your subconscious receives that command, and life begins to mirror it with ease and plenty. You may ask, how can words affect something as physical as money? But ask this, how does a dog know its name? How does a person stop when called? It is vibration and recognition. Money works the same way. Call it with lack and it hides. Call it with honor and it answers. So never say, I can't afford this. Say, provision comes to me through grace. Never say, money is difficult. Say, money is obedient and faithful. Do not declare that money leaves you. Say, money multiplies as it serves my purpose. If you have misnamed money, cancel those words now. Pull back every false declaration and replace it with truth. Call money your ally, your helper, your servant, and it will respond in that role. The law cannot break. What you name, you claim. People live in shortage, not because the law is weak, but because their words fight against them. Every sigh of "I can't afford this" is a spell. Every complaint of "it always runs out" is a curse placed on your own supply. The subconscious does not split jokes from declarations. It only records. The words you speak in anger or humor are taken as law, and they shape your experience. I remember a woman who used to joke she would die in poverty. Her friends found it funny, but the law did not. It wrote it down. Over time, her money vanished, and she lived exactly what she had spoken. Another student constantly said, "Everything is too expensive." When she changed her speech to "What I need appears, and I can afford it through grace," her life shifted. Gifts came, opportunities opened, money flowed. Why? Because she renamed it. Understand this deeply. The universe does not separate strong affirmations from casual words. Both plant seeds. If you speak truth for 5 minutes and speak doubt the rest of the day, which seed do you think grows? This is why every word must be watched. Words are not harmless. Every one of them either calls money toward you or sends it away. Maybe you now realize you have been speaking wrongly for years and you fear it is too late. It is not. The same mouth that cursed can bless. The same voice that bound can free. Say, "I erase every record of lack, debt, and limitation within my subconscious. They return to the nothingness where they came from. I now write perfect records of abundance, wealth, and divine supply." Speak this without fear, and you will feel old patterns breaking as new ones rise. Guard your mouth like you guard treasure. Never again call money stubborn or scarce. Wrong naming stops the flow, but right naming opens it wide. When you call wealth by its real name, it comes quickly and continuously until your storehouses overflow. Now hear this shift, the sacred reversal of every false word you ever spoke. If wrong speech blocks supply, right speech unlocks it. If negative naming pushes money away, right naming draws it in. The law does not choose sides. It only completes the vibration you send. The same tongue that shuts a door can open it. Speak correctly, and the channels of supply swing open. I once guided a woman drowning in debt. Every day she said, "I'm always behind. There is never enough." I told her, "You are calling money your enemy, and it is obeying you." When she replaced those words with "money is divine," money comes under grace, money multiplies as it blesses, her life shifted, debt cleared, gifts arrived, freedom came. Not because the world changed, but because her naming changed. So what name will you give money now? Will you continue to call it hard, distant, stubborn, or will you call it present, generous, and faithful? Words are not just sounds. They are power shaped into vibration. Just as seeds produce after their kind, words do the same. Speak lack and harvest lack. Speak abundance and harvest abundance. No one plants thorns and expects roses. And if results do not appear immediately, be patient. Seeds grow in silence. Old patterns take time to dissolve. Every correct word cuts a new path inside you. Each time you affirm, "Money is obedient and money listens. Money comes to me now by grace and right timing." You raise your inner state until life itself lines up with it. Do not step away before the harvest arrives, because every harvest that is spoken must come from this second forward. Refuse to give money any wrong name. Never say, "I cannot afford this." Say, "Money helps me in divine and peaceful ways." Never say, "It disappears from my hands." Say, "It multiplies while blessing me." Write these truths with your own hands. Speak them morning, noon, and night. Watch how quickly your world shifts to follow your new decree. Debt does not start on paper, it begins on the tongue. Every complaint, every quiet whisper of "I owe too much" builds that same reality in form. The subconscious takes every word as a command, and your life conditions repeat whatever your voice sends out. A man once spoke with me, trapped in endless debt, even though he worked hard, earned well, and did everything he knew. His speech was filled with statements like, "I'll never get ahead. I owe everybody. I'm always behind." I said to him, "You are calling yourself a debtor, and life simply obeys your label." When he changed his words to "God is my endless source. I live in constant supply. I pay all men and all men pay me. I am free from debt through grace, his World shifted, unexpected income came, bills were paid, doors he did not expect opened. The shift was not in effort, but in word. Idle words are never idle, they are seeds. Speak want and you harvest want, speak wealth and you harvest wealth. The harvest always mirrors the planting. The universe never laughs at jokes, it only records decrees. It is not intention that shapes reality, but sound, tone, and utterance. So now pull back every false name you have spoken about money or lack. Declare, I now dissolve every mistaken record of debt in my subconscious. I fill my mind with divine supply. My words are law, and my law is continual increase. Old words fade into the dust of nothing because they were born from illusions in my thinking. Now I write new truth. I am free. I am taken care of. I am supplied. I am rich in all things. I am overflowing. Say it again and again until your new sound buries the old echo. Look into your reflection and say, money serves me. Money does not rule me. Wealth flows to me and debt falls away. Increase comes. Shortage disappears. As these words go out, the atmosphere around you shifts. The outcome rearranges. Invisible ropes fall apart. Careless speech builds cages, but conscious speech opens gates, and the choice belongs to you. What I say now is delicate, yet it has blocked more blessings than fear or doubt. Many people guard their hearts from fear, yet they let their tongues wander without thought, making jokes about poverty, laughing at ruin, pretending that being broke is funny, as though the subconscious cannot tell the difference between a joke and a decree. But the subconscious does not laugh, dear one. It cannot divide humor from command. It receives vibration as truth, stamps it into record, and returns it in outer life. A joke about lack carries the same vibration as a prophecy of lack. Silly humor brings silly harvests. Many who consider themselves filled with faith are still tied down, not by serious words, but by the playful ones they toss around daily. I once knew a woman who lived well and had plenty. Yet she always joked with her friends, saying, watch me end up in a poorhouse. They laughed, she laughed, but life did not laugh. Her words formed the pattern. A few years later, her wealth slipped away, her comforts were lost, and the joke became her life. She had spoken a curse hidden in laughter. Another woman often said, I'm broken, I'm broke, it's hilarious. Her friends laughed, but her affairs became tighter until she was tired of struggling. I told her, stop making poverty entertainment. Speak to money with truth. Call it faithful, abundant, and ready to return to you. When she stopped joking about lack and spoke with respect, her money situation began to turn. The laughter no longer carried binding power because it was no longer soaked in falsehood. Playful words can harm deeper than serious ones because they slip under awareness. You may never seriously say, I will live in lack, but you may throw it out laughing, and your subconscious, loyal and exact, will not ignore it. It engraves the statement and shapes your world based on it. The law does not care about tone or intention, it hears vibration only. Whether whispered in humor or said in fear, every sound must return in form. This is why sacred teaching warns that every idle word is recorded. Even light remarks carry weight in spirit. So do not joke about need. Do not call yourself broke even for fun. Do not exaggerate problems for amusement. Do not mix despair with humor, for every joke contains a seed, and that seed will grow. Replace false humor with joy that comes from truth. If you want to joke, joke about abundance. Say, I'm so blessed that even my shadow shines. Say, money comes to me so quickly I have to slow down to catch it. Let your laughter match truth, and only good will follow. Guard your words, for each one is a command, whether whispered or shouted. When you understand this, ignorance cannot protect you anymore. Choose your phrases like precious stones. Do not toss them out carelessly for a laugh that may cost you peace. Speak with joy, yes, but joy rooted in truth, not mocking your own supply. Then your laughter will lift you instead of trapping you, because your speech will align with divine order. Beloved, what I share with you now can safeguard your entire journey of manifestation. When you master this and practice it daily, you will not sabotage your own prosperity again. You must discipline your tongue, for it is both weapon and crown. Used without care, it harms. Used with wisdom, it rules. The tongue is the small rudder that guides your life. Though tiny, it directs your whole ship. If your ship has been moving toward lack, if storms of debt have followed you, do not blame the sea or the wind. Look at the rudder. What have you been saying every day about your supply? Your tongue set the direction, and only your tongue can turn it. Controlling speech does not mean silence, it means mastery. Some think control means saying nothing, but the tongue is not meant to be locked away. It is meant to be trained. Train it to bless, not curse. Train it to create, not destroy. Train it to speak increase instead of decrease. Train it to talk about money with respect, gratitude, and expectation. When you say, I can't afford this, you close the gate. When you say, money comes to me gently and fully, you open the door. Both are instructions. Both plant seeds. Both shape your path. To guard your tongue is to catch false words and overturn them. Cancel wrong declarations and replace them with truth. I remember a student who repeated affirmations faithfully but saw little change. She came to me heavy and discouraged, saying, I speak affirmations every morning, yet my finances still struggle. I asked, what are you saying the rest of the day? She paused and admitted that she often complained, I'm broke, I can't do this, everything costs too much. I said, there is your answer. You plant roses in the morning, but weeds by afternoon. What do you think grows faster? She cried as she understood. After that, she watched her speech closely. Whenever she felt the urge to speak lack, she corrected it and said, God is my constant, instant, generous provider. Soon evidence appeared. Her money began to flourish like the roses she finally allowed to live. Do you see how simple this law is? You do not need to strain or beg, you just need to speak truth consistently. Every idle word drains your flow. Every word of faith strengthens it. If you want freedom from want, build your life with deliberate words. Let your speech be your shelter. Watch every sentence and let only abundance pass through the door. Let your tone carry truth. Let your mouth be the instrument of your freedom. Speak as one who already has, not as one who fears losing. Speak as one who expects good, not one who predicts loss. The world listens. Your subconscious listens. Heaven listens. And your life reflects whichever master you choose with your speech. Carry faith. Your thoughts carry calm. Say, I refuse to speak about lack. I will not joke about shortage. I will not mislabel money. My words are set apart. They build, they don't tear down. They command, they do not complain. When you practice this, your speech creates a wall of safety, a flow of supply, and a fountain of joy. A trained tongue makes money obey. Now understand this hidden truth of the inner mind. This is why I tell you to place the word on your mirror instead of hiding it inside a notebook. A mirror is not only glass, it is an opening into your deeper self. When you look at it, you see more than features, you see identity. The subconscious accepts whatever picture you hold of yourself as truth. If you stare at your reflection and sigh, calling yourself broke or tired, your inner mind records it and carries it out. But if you face that mirror with the word of plenty before you, the subconscious joins itself to that truth, receives it as self-definition, and produces its outward form. The mirror works because it repeats the message without effort. You may grow tired of speaking your affirmations, but the mirror speaks them for you through sight. Every glance strengthens the decree. Your eyes notice it, your mind absorbs it, your spirit stamps it. Slowly thought becomes stream, and stream becomes manifestation. So place your word where your reflection meets it day after day. Let your image blend with your declaration, because what you behold as yourself, you eventually become. I once knew a woman who took this very seriously. She wrote the word wealth boldly across her mirror. She didn't push for belief or strain for signs. She simply allowed the picture to dwell inside her mind. 1 week later, a surprise check of $50,000 arrived in her mail. People called it chance, but it was spiritual law. She had united sight and word, and creation answered. Why does this method hold such force? Because the mirror brings together sound, sight, and emotion. Speaking is strong, but seeing and feeling it connected to your own face increases the power. When word, picture, and feeling become one, the subconscious must carry it out. It cannot refuse an image so clear. Treat your mirror as something holy. Stand before it not with pride, but with trust. Write with courage. Speak with strength. Feel with joy. And your world will echo what your reflection speaks. But even as you declare, guard your seed. If you expose it too early, doubt can spoil it. Keep your decree between you and God until it grows. Silence is not fear, it is protection. A farmer does not dig up his seed to prove it is planted. He hides it until the sprout appears. In the same way, do not display your word before mockers. Do not show your faith to cold unbelief. Privacy shelters the seed. A woman once learned this lesson painfully. She started affirming prosperity and felt her faith rising strong, but she told everyone. They mocked, questioned, and doubted her. Their words chilled her hope, and nothing changed. Later she learned to keep her decree quiet, and soon her results appeared. Even Christ told the healed, "Tell no one," until the miracle was visible. A tender harvest must be covered until it is strong enough to stand against doubt. Silence protects because it trusts. It says, "My word is precious. It is between me and the divine until it becomes real. When it shows itself, then I will speak openly. Until then, I guard it like treasure." And now the rain that wakes the seed, gratitude. Without thankfulness, your decree stays asleep. With it, the seed breaks open. Gratitude shows that faith is complete. It does not beg, it celebrates. It declares, "It is already mine." And the law answers, "So it is." Once I wanted a rose tree. I did not plead or plan. I simply pictured it, thanked God, and felt joy as if it already stood in full bloom. The next day, a florist delivered one by accident, or so it seemed. But it was no accident. Thanksgiving had called it into being. Another student had only $2. I told her, "Bless it. See it as overflowing. Thank God as though it were full." She obeyed, and soon she received 6,000. Gratitude multiplied what she had. Thanksgiving tells the inner mind that the work is finished. Fear asks, "What if it never comes?" Faith answers, "It already has." Gratitude is the sound of finished faith. When you praise God before you see the result, you erase the gap between desire and fulfillment. You step into the divine flow where all good already exists, pulling it from the unseen into the visible. Gratitude is not the end of creation. It is creation itself. So I remind you, never let one sunrise or sunset pass without blessing the word written on your mirror. Do not wait to give thanks until wealth appears. Give thanks now. Greet your reflection with joy. Point to your decree and say, "I thank you and praise you that this is already real. My wealth is present. My prosperity is secured. My abundance is active under grace and in perfect alignment." Allow joy to rise within you as though the proof were already in your hands, and soon it will be. Joy is the sound of harvest moving toward you, and gratitude is the rain that makes the harvest grow. Every grateful word waters the field of your good. Every thankful sentence softens the soil. Every happy declaration brings life to your seed. Every smile of faith calls the light of heaven onto your garden. When the season ripens, your harvest will not come through struggle or worry, but through favor and plenty. Gratitude strengthens the roots of miracles, and a heart filled with thankfulness will never dwell in lack. Now, beloved, let us bring this circle into completion. The word on your mirror was never meant to remain separate from you, floating like something distant or strange. The real secret of manifestation is union, your union with the word. Until you accept the decree as your own name, you will always chase it as if it belongs to someone else. But when the word becomes your identity, when you can look in your reflection and calmly say, "This is me," the invisible world rushes into form. The subconscious does not argue with identity. It receives it, enlarges it, and reveals it. Whatever label you place upon yourself, life echoes it. This is why the mirror is powerful. It makes you face yourself with the truth written beside you. It fuses image and affirmation together. You do not only speak, money obeys me. You see yourself united with that command until your inner being declares, this is who I am. A man who calls himself poor will never hold wealth no matter how much effort he gives. A woman who sees herself as lacking will push away blessings even when they come near. But the one who looks within and says, I am abundance, I am prosperity, I am divine, supply and motion, will see every condition bow to that truth. I once had a student always expecting defeat. She had spoken affirmations for years, but always as if they belonged to another person. Money is coming. Prosperity is near. Her words carried no ownership, so her results were small. I told her to face her mirror and declare, I am prosperity. Money serves me now. Abundance is my nature. At first it sounded strange, even bold, but with repetition, identity formed. Little by little, her doubt dissolved and her confidence rose. She stopped hoping for prosperity and began living it inside. Soon her life echoed it. Debts disappeared, chances increased, her wallet filled. The phrase changed from theory into reality. So I ask you now, what name are you wearing? When you face your mirror, do you call yourself struggling, cursed, or unlucky? Do you tie yourself to titles that chase wealth away? Then take off those false names and dress yourself in truth. Write your decree with strength. Look at it daily. Declare, this is my name. I am supply. I am abundance. I am supported by divine law. Speak it not as begging, but as stating reality. Speak it as fact. For once you truly know something, the universe must reflect that knowing back to you. Identity is the strongest decree of all. A person can speak many affirmations and repeat again and again that wealth will come. But the very moment you declare and accept, I am wealth, the doorway opens at once. Manifestation responds instantly to identity. The world is always mirroring the picture within your own mind. Beloved, let us look closely at the thief that steals more abundance than any outer situation ever could. That thief is fear. Fear is not a gentle emotion. It is reversed faith, a dark command that produces lack. Every fearful feeling is an instruction sent into your deeper self. Every worried thought becomes a seed of shortage. Fear names a false idea as truth, and the impartial law obeys whatever name it is given. Fear turns money into an enemy instead of a helper, and money, being loyal to your spoken order, follows the command. There was once a man who became consumed by the thought of an illness he greatly dreaded. He studied every symptom, imagined every detail, and rehearsed the sickness until his own body began to copy it. His imagination covered his flesh with that picture, and the deep part of his mind shaped it into reality. Another woman, desperate for supply, kept whispering to herself, "It will never come. I will fall behind. I will be left out." Every sigh over, her bills became a negative decree, and therefore lack held on to her tightly. Fear is never silence. Fear is language, and language is law. So fear creates false outcomes and false futures. But the same law that produces the results of fear will also gladly produce the outcomes of faith. Fear can build walls, but faith can break them down. Fear can plant weeds, but faith grows wheat strong enough to replace every weed. You must cancel every false decree spoken by fear. Say out loud, all fearful records are broken. They have no strength over me. I now speak truth. I am fearless, abundant, supported by divine order. Every statement forms a new record, and the old one slowly disappears. Replace every fearful thought not through hard struggle, but by calm substitution. Instead of saying, I cannot afford this, say, I can meet this under grace. Instead of saying, money always leaves me, say, money grows for me now. Each substitution shapes a new groove in the record of your inner life. In time, only the music of truth stays. Do not fight with darkness. Bring in light instead. Now, beloved, we turn to the tall illusion named lack. It feels like a strong wall that cannot be moved, but lack has no real substance. It is a shadow made from fearful words and fearful mental pictures. When truth is spoken, shadows disappear. The Israelites did not conquer Jericho by hitting stone with stone. They lifted a shout, and the sound brought the walls down. You must do the same. Stand quietly for a moment. Gather your inner certainty. Then declare, the walls of limitation fall down now. I walk freely into my promised land under grace and in the best possible ways. Say it until you feel the wall fall flat in your imagination. Soon your outer reality will follow. Do not call lack permanent. Call it nothing. Maybe you say, my debts are large, my income is small. That is the exact moment you should speak more boldly. The bigger the wall, the greater the victory that follows. Do not wait for proof. Speak the new truth now. Say it until joy rises inside you. The unseen must obey the spoken word. When lack disappears, you must place money back into its correct place, or the old pattern returns. Money is not a ruler, not an idol, not a tyrant. It is a servant and a tool. It clothes, feeds, supports, and helps when you name it rightly. When misunderstood, it becomes heavy and painful. Every soul carries a perfect divine plan. Your work, your health, your supply, all are written inside your spirit. When you walk in harmony with that plan, money flows simply, softly, steadily. I once helped a woman who was trapped in the chase for income. She worked at places she disliked, stayed around people who drained her energy, and feared that stepping away from money's demands would bring disaster. I told her, you have reversed the order. You are the master, and money is the servant. Speak it and straighten the order. Her decree became, money is sacred, loyal, and serves me under grace. At first it felt false to her. Then the truth grew roots. Peace replaced fear, and money began to come with ease. Opportunities matching her true gifts appeared. She discovered the rhythm of divine ease, where supply flows like a gentle river, moving without pressure. Ask yourself, have you given money the crown or returned it to service? Peace will not stay until you name money correctly. But the instant you affirm, money is divine and serves me with joy, you return to your perfect pattern. Money becomes a friend, not a weight, a bright helper in the story of your life. And now, beloved, we arrive at the quiet door that many call forbidden. The world says, do not speak boldly about wealth, do not command supply. But truth sits behind that veil. What many fear to speak is often only hidden from the timid, not from the faithful. All heavenly secrets yield to courage. The treasure cave in the story of Ali Baba did not open with force. It opened with a phrase. Your supply works the same way. Speak the right word, and what seemed sealed becomes open. One student feared declaring abundance. She thought it was prideful. I told her, you are not taking what is not yours. You are receiving what always belonged to you. She followed the instruction, and her debts disappeared like morning fog. The law had waited for her courage. So I ask you now, what has fear kept you from claiming? Wealth, comfort, authority. These forbidden things are not wrong. They are simply truths waiting for your voice. The universe does not withhold anything. It only waits for those who will say the word that matches their inheritance. So live beyond the forbidden. Write your declaration. Speak it daily. Do not bend to illusions. The treasures of heaven are not locked. They wait for the sound of your voice. When you dare to command, the gates open and you walk freely into what is already yours. We have traveled far together, from the moment you learned that money answers its name, to the deeper mysteries of the mirror, through the shadows of fear, into the clear ground of faith, past the blueprint within you, and all the way to your divine authority. Now comes the seal. A word heard gives inspiration, but a word spoken gives transformation. So stand before your mirror and say, money, you are divine and obedient. You serve me now under grace and in perfect ways. You bless me and never bind me. Speak it not as a wish, but as a decree, not as hope, but as certainty. Repeat it until your whole being matches the sound, until heaven and earth seem to echo your voice. Do not treat this as a simple lesson. Treat it as a law already moving. Write your word this very night. Hold it close. Believe it with your whole heart. Let it blend with your reflection until your name and your abundance feel like the same identity. Then watch debts fade. Watch walls collapse. Watch supply flow like light poured through open doors. Heaven has not been waiting on luck or chance. Heaven has been waiting on your command. And when your blessing appears, and it will appear with joy, you will be able to say with confidence, I called money by its name, and it answered.